who had been there for thousands of years. They are the Armak who hadn't mixed their seed with the Shin dynasty, because keep in mind who Shin them landed in California and mixed in with the West Coast Armaks, the Bays, and created this new tribe, the Mexicans and the Aztecs, right? And this is a picture of what their houses look like, right? What the Wichita houses look like when they landed. All the way from Georgia, all the way over to Oklahoma, all the way to Wichita, Texas. Because this was the land of the Wichita Native American Moors, right? Okay? The Wichitas inhabited Georgia, South Carolina, Florida, Alabama, Mississippi, Louisiana, Tennessee, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas. Mansa Musa met with the Parliament 5 chiefs, right? The head chief, Black Bull. And when he met with him, he was looking for his brother. And they told him they know of his brother. He was living in the Lakota land where he had bought a certain amount of land from these people, and he was living up in that land. And Mansa Musa wanted to leave and go visit his brother, but the chief told him that it'd be over a 2-week ride to have a guide. But they said that they could send a messenger, a bird messenger, to contact Mansa Musa to make sure he was there, because it'd be a blank trip if he go there if he ain't there, right? They tied a message to a hawk and got him to fly, right? And got him to fly to the land where Abubakar was living. And they ended up getting in contact with him, right? The Lakota people referred to Abubakar as Crazy Horse, because the black stallion that he rode, when he showed up to a place, it began acting crazy, right? So they said they started calling him Crazy Horse. And these people had names like, he's scared of his horse, or his horse won't let him ride. Right? We gave people names like this, right? His horse won't let him ride. Crazy Horse, which was Abubakar's the second name, which the natives called him. They got word to Abubakar, and a couple days later, the hawk came back with the message that Abubakar the second, Crazy Horse, was on a caravan headed to them right now as we speak. And eventually, Abubakar met up with Mansa Musa, and they spent time together, right? And talked, right? They spent over 90 days together. And one day, Abubakar took his brother off to the side and told him the secret. He said, I gotta tell you a secret. I've been collecting large sums of gold and stirring it up under the land which I bought. I found a hidden cave system in the mountain and started to store the gold there. That's what he told him. He told Mansa Musa, I have tons of it. He even brought some with him to give Mansa Musa more gold. He also told Mansa Musa that the cave system was an interest to the center world, which he had learned about from the Armak's children. And that one day he was going to make the journey to the center of the earth. Like I say, he brought his brother Mansa Musa tons of more gold. Mansa Musa took some of the gold, right, and gave it to the chiefs for helping him find his brother. He also eventually purchased 3.8 million acres from the Wichita chiefs. The center point, right, being what you're calling Atlanta, Georgia today, right? And one of the chiefs gave Mansa Musa his daughter for a wife, Princess Inari, who was a princess from the Wichita tribe, right? And she became Kankan Mansa Musa's second wife. He already had a wife back home. This chief gave his daughter to Mansa Musa because these chiefs saw that, hey, if this dude is real wealthy and my daughter get with him, he's a king and my daughter can benefit from this dude. That's the way these chiefs was looking at it. It was making a connection. And keep in mind, Abubakar and Mansa Musa brought Mandingo men and women and children over here with them and gave them the land to occupy that they had purchased. So when Abubakar came back, his people came over and was in that land that he purchased, and they began mixing in with these Lakota people, right? And then Mansa Musa brought beings over to mix in these Mandinga, Melodian Moors, who practice a ritual where they stretch their reptile, right? These people, these Mandinga people, practice a ritual where they stretch their penis to 12 or 15 inches, right? So the Wichita and the Armak women were loving these beings when Mansa Musa and Abubakar brought them over, right? And keep in mind, Abubakar made several trips over here to visit his brother until 1321. And every time he came, he brought Mandingas over here, which the Wichita women love, right? Because of that ritual they did. That goes all the way back to their ancestors, the ancient Egyptians with the god men, right? These Mandingas began mixing in with the Wichita and created the Yamasee Native American Indians, Mandingo Moors, right? And this tribe spun the Creek, the Seminole, right? And those two tribes spun the Blackfoot, Cherokee, the Apache, Choctaw, the Mongoose, the Chickasaw, right? All these tribes go back into one tribe, the Yamasee, which was a mix between the Mandingas of the Wichita, Almac, Nubians that was already here. So they loved every time that Mansa Musa would come, he would bring these Mandingas, the Kentes. So the Yamasees are Kentes, Alis. In 1321, which is the last time Mansa Musa came to Amexem, his brother was nowhere to be found. Remember, he found that cave opening to go to the center of the earth, and he wanted to make a journey to the center of the earth because he had lost 6,000 men. The Almacs told him that the whirlpool was like an hourglass or a drain that drains into the center of the earth. So he wanted to go down and see this place because he'd heard all the stories. So in 1321, he got 1,000 men together and went down into the center of the earth. And some say that he returned 435 years later as old Ben York, Yusuf bin Ali, because that's why they say his hair is white and that he got this glow to him. Because when people that go to the center of the earth and live there for a while, and when they come up, they have this glow to them and their eyes glow. Right? But we're not 100% sure on that. We just know that that's the legend. Abubakar II came back to the surface, right, from Shambhala after 435 years as old Ben York, Yusuf bin Ali, right? In 1322 AD, Mansa Musa returned home. He was a devout Muslim. Keep that in mind. Abu Bakr left to go to the center of the earth, and he left 4 wives and 7 children. And the 1,000 men had already been having children amongst the Lakota tribe, who was already a mix between the Almacs and the Chinese. In 1322 AD, Mansa Musa began making coins, right? Taking pure gold, right, which is too soft to make into a ring, coin or anything, so you gotta add certain metals, other minerals or alloys with this gold in order to, like brass, copper, and nickel. He began doing this and began making coins. These coins, like we said, had Mansa Musa's face on them, right? And this created haters. He started getting a lot of haters, right? And when you heavy in the game, you start getting a lot of haters. The more heavier you get in the game, the more haters you get. In 1324, Can Mansa Musa embarked on a Hajj, a religious pilgrimage to Mecca. He traveled with an entourage that included 8,000 countrymen, 12,000 servants, 220 camels, loaded with 200 tons of pure gold. Every night when they stopped, it looked like a whole town had camped out in the desert. And keep in mind, you have different types of camels. You have a double hump camel, and then you got a single hump camel, right? And these camels, which we refer to as desert ships, the one hump camel can carry up to 900 pounds. The double hump camel can carry up to 1,500 pounds. He donated this gold to the holy city of Mecca, and they began using this gold to decorate the holy city Mecca, right? And some of his gold have been since stolen and taken by certain beings. We'll get into that later, right? Because this was our gold. In 1327, when Mansa Musa took a trip to Cairo, right, he took so many coins of gold, he almost crashed the economy in ancient Egypt because he was spending so much gold, playing double, giving people tips. He flooded the system, man. Because keep in mind, in Egypt was a big business center, right? It had all the businesses similar to what you have today here in America, which is why they call this New Egypt. Right? They had schools, bookstores, right? They had barber shops. They had all this in ancient Egypt. He bought thousands of books, right? Mansa Musa collected a whole bunch of documents and different things to create a curriculum in Timbuktu. When Mansa Musa returned to Timbuktu, he brought scholars, right? And architects and learned man of Islam and different arts and crafts and schools from Cairo, right? Who were Nubians. He hired architects to design the great mosque or the great temple, 1327 in Timbuktu. At its peak, it housed over 25,000 students. And they had collected over a time of 800,000 different books that Mansa Musa had brought back to Timbuktu to put in his school. This was a school where he brought all the teachers back and paid them double to work at the school. So everybody wanted to come to this school. He created it as a major learning system. And this is the same town, Timbuktu, where the Caucasian beings who were from the Caucasus Mountain began to come in and learn civilization, right? It is said that Abubakar took 84 tons of gold, right? And he spent all of it in Cairo. He had 280 camels loaded with 600 pounds of gold each. And he flooded the economy so much in ancient Egypt that he caused inflation, to where he had to borrow gold from everybody that he could at high interest rates just to balance the economy back. Because he had so much gold when he was making these coins, he was stepping on the gold, what we call in the street stepping on it. That means mixing it. It increased his amount of gold that he had. So he had way more gold. This is what made him rich. He was able to mix and make coins. Keep in mind, Mansa Musa's second wife was with him. He had brought her back to Mali and had left his son by her, right? Prince Kankan Musa II, who was not only the prince of the Mandinga tribe in Mali, West Africa, but he also was the prince of the Wichita tribe in the Mexico. He was left over here amongst his people to rule on the land which Kankan Musa had purchased. His wife, Princess Inari Kente Ali, who was a princess from the Wichita tribe of the Mexicans, was getting homesick. And many years had passed, and she was longing to see her son and her tribe and her people. But the captain that Mansa Musa had left with his son that he told to sail back when he heard word from Abu Bakr never sailed back. And now we come up to the year 1337 because of the princess getting homesick and Kankan Musa not letting her sail back. On his birthday, she poisoned him, and he died or passed away. After his death, his son Mahagan Kente Ali the first became the Musa. And 2 days after his funeral, the princess, which was Princess Ari Kente Ali, ordered Mahagan to sail her back to her people, where she lived out the rest of her days, right? No one ever knew that she had poisoned Kankan Musa, because she came clean on her deathbed about poisoning Kankan Musa.